In the past on this channel, I've often talked about how Oceania is a very underrated and overlooked region of the world if you're looking to get strong passports. And in today's video, I have found out something that is absolutely monumental for you to know if you are looking to diversify in the region. So the country of Palau, I've talked about Palau a couple of times on this channel. Palau is a beautiful country in the Pacific. It's sort of at the westernmost point of Oceania. It's sort of next to Philippines, a beautiful looking country, former territory of the United States, but now its own country. And the passport is very, very solid. You know, if we take a look at the visa requirements map, we can see that the Palauan passport is going to grant you access to a lot of Western countries. It's a solid passport. You know, it's not a passport like maybe a African passport or maybe some Latin American passports where they don't grant you a lot of access around the world. You are not going to have a lot of trouble traveling on a Palauan passport. And Palau also allows dual nationality. So on paper, this passport actually seems to be very solid. It seems to be a good option if you're looking to diversify your portfolio, maybe hit Oceania, but you don't necessarily want to go to a country like Australia or New Zealand. However, there is a major issue with Palau that is absolutely monumental for you to know if you are not ethnically Palauan. Basically, Palau is one of the few countries around the world, I believe Bhutan might also have a similar policy going on, but with Palau, I was actually very surprised. If you are a natural-born citizen of Palau and you move abroad maybe to Europe or Latin America and you get second citizenship in the country that you're living in, then no problem. You can keep your Palauan passport. You're never going to have to worry about losing your Palauan citizenship. However, if you are someone like me who evidently has no Palauan roots in him, or anyone like that, or maybe you're someone who is American and you have no real Palauan or Polynesian or Oceania ancestry whatsoever, then getting Palauan citizenship is pretty much impossible. They do not grant citizenship by naturalization. It's not a thing in the country. There's no citizenship by investment. There's no citizenship by residency. I believe the only way you can actually get it is by descent. But if you have no ties to the country, if you just move there to get a better life, there is no way that you are getting citizenship. It's one of the few countries in the world that does not allow foreigners to become naturalized in their country. This way, Palau actually seems to be quite a homogenous society. I don't know about the culture itself, but on paper, this does sort of remind me of a country like Bhutan, where they don't really like to allow foreigners to naturalize in their country. Bhutan takes it a step even further. They don't even like foreigners going in to their country. Palau, I'm sure you can travel to quite easily. However, if you want to live there, naturalize there, and you have no Palauan roots to you, that's just probably not going to happen. Now, some of you who have some existing knowledge on Palau might be wondering, okay, but what if you do the digital residency? For those of you that might not know, Palau has a program going where if you spend $250 American a year, you will get a Palauan digital ID residency card. Now, I am in a group where I asked about this specifically, and I asked, does this provide me, if I were to buy it, with residency rights? Does that mean that if I have it for 1 year, if I buy the 1 year residency, can I live in Palau for 1 year? If I buy the $2,500 one for 10 years, can I live in Palau for 10 years? Now, the unfortunate thing is this is what you have to look out for with digital residency. It doesn't always equate to actual residency rights, because it doesn't matter if I turn up to some Palauan airport with one of my passports and the Palauan digital ID residency card. They're not going to look at that and go, okay, yeah, you can live in this country for a year. That's just not going to happen. Having digital residency in that country doesn't really provide you with that many benefits of living in said country, and it certainly is going to help you naturalize in the country. Now, is this the end of the world? Well, it really depends upon what you are actually looking for. If you were absolutely keen on Palau as a country that you want to get citizenship in, but you have no Palauan ties, this has probably ruined your plans a bit. However, there are other options in Oceania, you know, a country like maybe Fiji, Solomon Islands, something like that, maybe Australia, New Zealand, where you are guaranteed to get citizenship. It doesn't matter whether you have any cultural ties there. If you've lived in Australia or New Zealand legally, you can get citizenship there after about 5 to 7 years. But with Palau, it really does seem to be, it doesn't matter whether you live there for 5 years, 10 years, or 50 years, you're not getting citizenship. In this case, Palau does seem to be one of the passports that is very heavily gate-kept. One of them would also be Bhutan, but the Bhutanese passport isn't great to begin with. Brunei also does a lot of gatekeeping. Their passport is actually very solid. San Marino as well, they do unbelievable gatekeeping, 30 years residency requirements. So these type of passports, the European microstates, these small islands, Brunei, Bhutan, places like that, they're not really worth looking at, in my opinion, because any country that doesn't grant you citizenship, or there is no future direct line to getting citizenship, in my opinion, isn't really treating you the right way. You know, there should always be an option for a foreigner to come into a country and naturalize into the country, and obviously be allowed to keep multiple passports. That's the whole point of diversification. Let me know what you think about this Palauan policy. Would you still want to get Palauan citizenship if it was possible for you? And if you like this video, you can click right here, subscribe to get some information on YouTube. And if you want to follow me on my other social media, you can follow me on Instagram, X and Rumble, but I never really post on X anymore, so follow me on Instagram, and all of them will be linked down below in the description.